Hello. You woken up? He's a very sleepy boy. So much sleeping to do. Unbelievable. Fang and I are back for a brand new video. Today we're just going to run down some of the amazing books that we've been lucky enough to get our hands on in the last few weeks. Some of these we're keeping, some of these will be on our shop eventually. We're not very good at listing things very fast. So sorry if you've seen something on our channel that we said it's going to be for sale, but we haven't put it up live yet. We live very busy lives, doing about 3 jobs, including writing a novel. More on that later. Fang's just gonna, he's just gonna be, oh, okay. No, come on. That's not, no, you can't be that cute and not be on camera. You have to be on camera. He's a very good cat. Fang's the star of this video, folks. But today I wanted to start off with the most timely book that has come into our possession, which is Fourth Wing. We got to talk about it. Iron Flame has just come out, and we just managed to get our hands on a first edition copy of Fourth Wing. This one was at a fairly reduced price because we actually found that there were some stickers that had been attached to the boards, and you can see that done a fairly reasonable job of removing them. There are a few blemishes I think you can see there, but for the most part I think we've done okay. Kind of a sticky stuff remover and applying some heat and all of that. But overall, I think the book has turned out pretty unscathed, at least from the outside when you've got the dust jacket on. I'd say it's probably still at about a very good kind of condition, maybe near fine. Obviously, when you're listing books to sell, you have to be very honest about the condition of the book, because if someone gets their book and they go, oh, that's not what I bought, doesn't look right, then obviously, you know, that's not good for anyone, not good for you, not good for the customer. I haven't read it. Everything I've heard is probably not going to be my thing, but I know a lot of people who are into Fourth Wing and into romantasy in general, and obviously this one is a sensation. So maybe keep an eye out for it on the website. Next up, we have something that, this is what we call, this is what I call a foster fail in terms of books. Often you hear about foster fails in terms of fluffy creatures like this one here. In our case, in the book selling world, foster fail is a book you think you've bought to sell and then ends up that you have it and you need to keep it. And that one was this beautiful HarperCollins hardback set of Lord of the Rings. I think it's from 91. Let me just double check. They're quite tight in here. Gently. There we go. They're lovely, beautiful condition. There's literally absolutely nothing wrong with them. I don't think they've ever been read. Yes, 1991. And you can see on there as well the number one. So that's really amazing. Yeah, so this is when HarperCollins took over from, at that time, it would have been Unwin Hyman, I think. George Allen and Unwin were the initial publishers of The Lord of the Rings. You see a lot of these covers in paperback. The paperback one's got a much larger print run and the print run lasted longer. These are Tolkien's original designs. They look absolutely stunning. The vibrancy on this particular print is amazing. The red hasn't faded at all. And we also got, around the same time in the last couple of weeks, this copy of The Hobbit, which is from the same time. I think it's also 91, actually. Let me double check. 95, actually. So a bit later. These Hobbits often had like these gold banding along the top, and this one isn't actually in perfect condition, but we are keeping it. All right, what else we got? I have a nuanced opinion on Patrick Rothfuss. I mean, I love The Name of the Wind. That is in my top 10 fantasy books full time. And we managed to get our hands on a first US edition of The Name of the Wind. There are actually a couple of covers of this, and you would have seen this on our YouTube shorts. There are 2 different covers. This one is one of them. The other one has Gavoth on the front. So this one was in our Found in the Charity Shop series. Let me show you here. You can see first printing at the bottom there. There we go. Eventually, this cover then changed to a photographic cover. But this original art I absolutely love, and it's so nice to have a first print copy of a book that is very dear to your heart. Unlike the sequel, Wise Man's Fear, which we also managed to get recently. This one is going for sale because, personally, it wasn't for me. I think Patrick Rothfuss is an incredible writer, but his decision-making about plot put me somewhat at odds with this book. But it is a first edition UK hardback. There's a little tear in the dust jacket, but that, in essence, makes it more affordable. One of our, I guess, philosophies at Hardy's Books is obviously we like books that are in excellent condition, But if it's a significant book and it's a little bit world weary, we will still list it at obviously a reduced price to reflect the condition. At least for me as a collector, I like owning books that have some history. I like owning a book for its significance, not necessarily for how well the original owner has managed to keep the condition. So occasionally that might mean we'll put up a book that's in slightly worse for wear, but that's still was significant for various reasons. Anyway, Wise Man's Fear. Hopefully we'll see Doors of Stone one day. I doubt it. Also, speaking of my top 10 books, this is another one that came out in the top 10 the other day. And this is another new copy of Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, the limited run slipcase edition. I think it's one of 350. I already had one of these, but this one came up online in sealed in cellophane and absolutely perfect condition. So I bought this one for my collection. The one that was in my collection, we're going to put online. It's beautiful, honestly. I mean, it's just a stunning edition. I'm not always one for sprayed edges. This one does have these kind of black sprayed edges. I like the more minimalist sprayed edges personally. I haven't not huge on ones that are overly decorative because, I mean, you're going to be having the spine facing out the bookshelf, right? Not the leaves. That's my opinion anyway. Moving on, we got a first UK edition of House of Chains by Steven Erikson here. I think this is the fourth book of Malazan, whatever. People pronounce it differently online. Malazan, Book of the Fallen. Not a series I've read yet. It's a bit intimidating. Everyone says how amazing it is, but then also everyone says how difficult to get into it is. So, you know, I'm a busy man. I've only got so much time to read books. I can't really, at this point in my life, devote a year to reading these books. But this is a very nice copy, isn't it? Look at the size of these good boys. Look at them. The size of mountains. Good boys. Good boys the size of mountains. I'm sure that's significant to the plot somehow. Yeah, so first UK edition of House of Chains. Two more that were on our YouTube shorts. This one, Laura posted up. It is a fourth impression of The Once and Future King by T.H. White. This one, once again, found at a charity shop. It's got really quite considerable foxing, unfortunately, but it is for our collection. It's not to sell. If you've ever read, or if you've ever watched the Disney film Sword in the Stone, that's what this book is. Compilation, because it's actually 5 books, I think? 4 books. So this is what that film was based on. The writing is very similar in tone as well. It's beautiful. It's funny, kind of whimsical fairy tale style. I haven't got to the last 3. I'm interested to see how it develops because, you know, Arthur in his youth is obviously very fairy tale like, but I don't know how the tone changes as he grows old. So one day I will finish this. But yeah, what a lovely little copy. This one was another amazing charity shop find. In fact, this one was so good that I went back and donated more money to the charity shop because I thought it was the right thing to do when you get something that's, you know, really been mispriced. For me, I feel like it's what's the word, Laura? What? What's the word for, like, it's important? It's like imperative. I feel like it's imperative to make sure that you've paid a fair sum for a book that has been underpriced. This is Knights of Madness, which is a compilation of various comic tales, of which Terry Pratchett was one of them. There are 3 books in this series. I have 2 of them. Third one's on its way. But what makes this one so incredible and special is that it is signed by Terry Pratchett on the inside. Funny enough, not the first time I found a signed Terry Pratchett book in a charity shop, but this one signed and inscribed, and it's a rare hardback. I mean, he doesn't really get much better than that. And it goes perfectly alongside Wizards of Oz, which is the other one I have in the series. This one also signed by Terry Pratchett. And also, this is Josh Kirby who did the cover art. So that's pretty amazing. Pair of them side by side on the shelf. In a future video, I'm going to cover my Terry Pratchett collection. Look forward to that. It's a big one. We've reached the last book of this haul. One thing I like to do when I finish a book series is to find a really nice first edition hardback of them. And so I finished the First Law, and, well, let's just say first edition hardbacks of the First Law are not easy to come by. Early paperbacks are a dime a dozen. But as I'm a man of limited means, I went looking for something else, and I managed to find these book club copies of the First Law, which I think are actually pretty good. So one thing to know about book club copies, and I'm probably going to do another video on this in the future. So a lot of these were printed, a lot of book club copies were printed, and or they were always pretty much made with cheaper materials. And actually, size-wise, if you compare them to a standard hardback, they are smaller as well. But if you're collecting hardback books and you're priced out from being able to buy a first edition, I think personally book club copies are a fantastic way to have something in your collection that is hardback that is significant. So I managed to get my hands on these. I think I paid less than a tenner for all three, which is a really fantastic deal. If you're paying more than 20 quid for a book club edition, then it depends. It's unlikely that it's worth that. Some are, but you just have to be a bit careful. Generally, they are cheaper for a reason. We're actually replacing our 10th anniversary copies, which are signed, the ones that are on the shelf, with these, just because, it's closer to the original, how they were originally put out in the world. They're a little bit more historic. So very pleased with these. So before you go, I just wanted to quickly talk about, for the 5 or possibly, if I'm lucky, 6 people who are interested in how my NaNoWriMo is going. It's over halfway through the month. I've only written about 8,000 words, which obviously isn't a lot. My target was 25,000, but for various reasons, I have not managed to write as much as I'd hoped. It's been a good month for planning and a good month for kind of getting the shape of the novel together. And I have written some stuff that I think is pretty good for the first 5 chapters or so. But ultimately, it's going to take a little bit longer than I'd hoped. I think I had underestimated how difficult it was going to be to do that second draft to kind of get the novel into a more finished state. This is my first novel after all. But I'm pretty pleased with it. I'm pretty pleased with how it's shaping up. And it's just going to take that little bit of extra work. So look out for that. Hopefully I'm going to release that next year if I can get it into a close to finished state soon. All right. What else do I need to remember, Laura?
Like and subscribe.
Yes. Like and subscribe.
Check out hardysbooks.co.uk.
Check out our shop. Go on Instagram. Give us a like.
Hardy's Books.
Do
Tell a friend.
Do all those things.
Do all the things.
And thank you so much for the love that you've been giving our top 10 videos. Those have been doing really well. And we love your comments. Please keep giving them. We are just so thrilled that people seem to like us. And, it's very validating. I live on positive feedback and on the idea that people like me.
So if you have negative feedback, please keep that to yourself.
Yeah, keep... What was it they say on the podcast? We're only accepting 5-star reviews at this time.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you in a future video.